Welcome back to the first lecture of the front-end development module. In this lecture, we will create basic project folder or the folder structure required to complete this front-end project. Okay, so before we begin, I have prepared this diagram that will give you understanding how we are going to create the folder structure and how every folder is going to be nested. Okay, so in our Angular project folder, on the root level, we will have a source folder, then package.json, angular.json, and tsconfig. And there might be a few more files. Okay. So in the source directory, if you open that, we will have index.html file, main.ts file, and style.scss file. This would be our global styles file. Then inside the source directory, we will have the app directory and the assets directory. In the assets directory, we will have the images folder, and we might have other folders like fonts folder as well. And in the app directory, we will have further app.routes.ts file, app.config.ts file, app.component.html file, and other app component files. So up to this point, we already have these files. If you go to the front-end folder, go to the source directory, you will find we have the app directory. And in the app directory, we have the app routes, app.config, and other app component files. Now we will have these further three folders: public, admin, and core. So in the public, we will add all of the files and folder that will be responsible for the public facing UI. And in the admin folder, we will have all of the folders and files that would be responsible to build the admin panel or CMS. In the core folder, we will have all of the files which are necessary to build everything, including public and admin. So let's expand public. In the public folder, we will have the core directory and the features directory. So first of all, let's expand the core directory. In the core directory, we will have two folders: services and interceptors. In the services section or folder, we will have all of the service that we will create, like auth service, user service, comment service, post service, category service, tag service. So basically, every database table will have its own service in the services folder. Plus, there might be other services that are not related to the table itself, but it will be helpful for other business logic, like we will have all of the authentication logic in the auth.service. Okay. Now we will have the interceptors. In the interceptors, we will have auth.interceptor.ts. That would basically be adding the headers like tokens in every HTTP requests if user is signed or logged in already. So then we will have a models folder in the interceptors. In the models folder, we will have all of the interceptors that will represent the shape of every table in our MySQL database. So for example, we have a user table, post table, comment table, and so on. So all of these files would contain the interfaces to define the shape of those tables. Okay. Now let's collapse it and go to the public folder. In the public folder, we have again core folder and the features folder. In the core folder, we will have the components folder, and in the components folder, we will have header and footer folder. So basically, these header and footer component would be the common components that would be displayed on the top and bottom. And in the header folder, you will see all of the related files of this component. Similarly for the footer folder as well. Okay, let's close this as well. Now let's go into the features folder. So in the features folder, we will try to keep all of the pages within this folder. So I am considering every page as the feature of this public folder or public facing UI. So we are going to create a home page that would be displaying the posts, and we will have the categories page that will display all of the categories, and all of the related pages or sub child pages would be inside these folders. So let's expand these one by one. First, we will have post, categories, auth, and tags. Inside the posts, we have the post.module, post.routes. So this route file would be responsible to take us to one of these pages. And in this folder post list, this would be displaying the list of all of the articles. So if you expand this, you will see all of the related files of this component. In the post detail, again, it will have all of the related files of the post dash detail component. Now collapse it. Same thing is for the categories. If you open the categories folder, you will see the categories module and categories.routes file that would be responsible to load these two components. So we will basically have two routes within this file. Now, if you expand the tags folder, same thing for this as well. We will have the tags module and the tags routes that would be responsible to load the component based on the route that we will define in it. In this case, for now, I don't feel any need to create a page to display all of the tags. But if we need to create the list of the tags, then we can add another folder or component as well. But for now, we just need to display the details page for every tag. For example, you are on an article or you are on a post detail page where you will see the list of all of the tags. And from there, if you click on any tag, it will open the tag detail page. And on the tag detail page, we will be displaying all of the posts that are related to that tag. Okay, so let's collapse that. And that's all about the features folder. And we are done with the public folder. So let's collapse this as well. Now let's go to the admin folder. In the admin folder, again, we will have core and features folder. In the core folder, we will have a components folder. In the components, we will have the header and footer folder. So these are basically the components, nothing else. So let's collapse it and go to the features folder. Here we have the posts folder, categories, comments, and tags. So basically, these are the folders for the post module, category module, comments module, and tags module. In the post folder, we have the post routes and module. We have the post editor component. So basically, this folder or this component would be responsible to edit any post. So either if you are creating a new post or you are editing a post, we will be using this folder. And then we have the post dash list folder that would be responsible to display the list of all of the posts created by the current user in the admin panel. Okay, so let's collapse it. Same thing is for the categories. We have category list component, category editor. We have the routes that would be responsible to loading the components based on the routes that we will define within this file. We have the categories.modules.ts. Same for the comments. Same for the tags list. Same for the tags folder. In the comments folder, we don't need to create an editor for the comment because admin will not be editing the comments, but admin will be able to display the list of the comments and they will be able to review the comments or delete the comments. So we don't need the editor component for the comments. Okay, so let's collapse it and collapse this as well. All right, as now we understand what we are going to build, so let's proceed and let's start creating this folder structure that we just looked at. So in the app folder, we need public folder, admin folder, and the core folder. So let's create all of these main top level folders. Let's create folder public and then admin. And after that, we need another folder named core. Okay. Now let's go to the core folder, and in the core folder, we will create a folder for the services. And then we need a folder for the interceptors. Okay. And in the admin, we need core and features. Okay. Now we need same folders inside the public folder. So I will just copy paste it. Okay. Now let's add the models folder inside the interceptors, and let's create our interceptors auth dot. Actually, I made a mistake here. This models folder should not exist in the interceptors. Interceptors, I meant to have the interfaces folder. So let's quickly fix it. Here I will create another section, or folder. In the core folder, that would be interfaces. Okay, and I'm going to move the model in the interfaces. All right, now let's add our very first interceptor, and we don't need the model folder in this, so let me delete that model folder. And in the core folder, I'm going to create another folder, interfaces. Okay, and in the interceptor, let's add our one and only interface, auth.interface.ts. You may have multiple interceptors, but this is just a starting point. So this folder structure would help you to scale up very easily. So in future, if you have if you want more interfaces, more interceptors, you can very easily add more files and keep adding them in these folders, and it will help you to scale it up. Okay, now in the interfaces, I will create a folder called models, and inside the models, I will create all of the files or interfaces that I need. And let me fix this as well. This should be interface here, here, and here. Let's create all of these interfaces. So in the models, I will add users.model.interface.ts. By the way, actually, I prefer to generate interceptors with the help of the Angular CLI. So let's delete this one. And now we have to generate the interceptor inside the interceptors folder. So either manually go to the interceptors folder from the command line or terminal, or if you're using VS Code, there is a very convenient way. Just right click on that and click on open in external terminal. Now here we will run the command ng generate interceptor and name it auth, press enter. And you would notice that the auth interceptor was created. If you don't need the spec file, you can just delete that. And for one single file, we don't need to create a folder. But in case if you want to keep the spec file, if you want to implement the testing, then you should create a separate folder with the name auth and move all of the related files into that. Okay, anyways, now let's add all of our remaining files. Post.model.interface.ts, and then comment. I will try to keep these names singular. User.model, post.model, and same for the comment.model.interface.ts. Now another file for category.model.interface.ts, and then category.model, and then we need tag.model.interface.ts. Okay, so I think these are all that we need for now, but if in case we need more, then we will keep adding more later on. Okay, now let's collapse this folder. Let's add all of these services. For that, I will use the Angular CLI. So instead of opening the external terminal, I will right click on the services folder and click on the copy relative path. Okay, open the terminal, and I will use the cd command to go into the path that I just copied. I am currently in the backend folder, that's why it did not work. So let's go back from the backend folder. Now I'm the root directory of our root project. So use the cd command, and now I am in the services folder, as you can see. So type the command ng generate s auth and press enter. It will generate that service under the services folder, as you can see. Now I will generate for the user, same for the post, same for the category, and now we need for the tag. Okay, I think these are all we need for now. Actually, comment service is still missing, so let's add that as well. All right, so you can see our services have been generated. Our auth interceptor also has some initial code that we will use when we will implement it. Now let's go to the public folder. As we are done with the core folder, so I'm just going to collapse it. In the public folder, go to the core folder. In the core folder, we need to create a folder for the components. In the component, I need two components, header and footer. So open the terminal and copy the relative path of the components folder, and let's use the cd command to go to that folder. Right now it is giving me error that this is not the correct path. So I will simply open a new terminal every time when you want to use a different folders, because in this way it will open the root directory of your main project. Okay. At this level we have backend and front end. So now I will use the cd command, press enter. Okay, now I'm in the components folder, run the command ng generate component header and ng generate component footer, press enter. Okay, both of these components have been generated. If you go to the core components folder, we have footer and header folders along with their files. Okay, now let's collapse the core folder, go to the features folder. In the features folder, I need to create further 4 folders. So open the features folder, create a folder with the name posts. Actually, I will not create these folder manually. My Angular CLI would automatically generate these folders when I will generate the module. So let's delete this folder, and I'm going to copy the relative path, close this terminal, open a new tab in this terminal and use the cd command. So now I am inside the front end. I am in the features folder. So here we need post, categories, auth and tags. So I also need the routes file as well along with these modules. So let's try that with the help of the Angular CLI. So run the command ng generate module, and the name of the module would be posts, and here I will use routing flag. That should generate the routing file as well along with this module. Okay, let's try that. Okay, here you will notice that a posts folder has been generated and 2 files are generated, module and the routing file. And in the module, this routing file or this routing module is automatically imported. Okay, now I need to generate other modules. So let's run the same kind of command, but this time I will use the word categories. Same for the auth and same for the tags. Okay, here you can see all of the related folders have been generated. So in every folder you will find the routing file and the module file. Now let's go to the posts folder. Make sure you are in the post folder by using the ls command. And here I need to generate 2 components, posts list and post detail. So for that, run the command ng generate component post dash list and ng generate c post dash detail or post singular post dash detail. Okay, if you go to the post folder, we have 2 folders created along with their component files. Now let's go to the categories folder. So use / categories. Now I'm inside the categories folder. You can double check as well. And here run the command ng generate c categories dash list and categories, and run the command ng generate c category dash detail dot category dash detail. Okay, press enter. Actually there was a problem here. I should have added the double AND operator instead of single. Okay, in this way it will make sure to execute the second command after first one is executed. Okay, in the categories folder we have the categories list and detail folder ready. Now let's implement the auth folder. So in the auth folder we will have multiple components: login, register, forgot password and reset password. Okay, so run the command cd / auth, press enter. Make sure you are in the auth folder and run the command ng generate c login and ng generate c register and ng generate c forgot password and ng generate c reset password. Press enter. It will create all of these components along with their folders within the auth directory. You can see these are being created one by one. Okay, now let's collapse it and complete the tags folder. So use the cd / tags to go to the tags folder. Make sure you are inside the tags folder. Now run the command ng generate c, and we need only tag detail component, tag detail. press enter. Okay, tag detail component has been generated. Let's collapse this and go to the admin folder. In the admin folder, we will start from the core folder. In the core, we have the components folder. Let's create that components and copy the relative path of the components folder. Now open a new tab of terminal. Make sure to delete old ones. And here I will use the command cd. Now I am inside the components folder. Here I will generate two components and generate c header and footer. Okay, we are creating footer and header separately because our layout and design for both of admin and public would be totally different. So that's why we need to create separate header and footer. But in case if the design is 100% same, then we may think about using the same header and footer component in both admin and public folders. But for now, we need individual components. All right, now after that is done, let's go to the features folder and we need to create all of these modules. We will generate in the same way like we did earlier. We need the routes and module files. So for that, copy the relative path of this features folder, open a new tab of this terminal and use cd command and go to that features folder. And now run the command and generate module posts -- routing and generate module categories -- routing and generate module comments -- routing and then ng generate module tags -- routing. So I have added all of the 4 commands in one single line so that it could create all of these modules in one attempt. It will create them one by one. If you go to the features folder, you will see all of the folders are created. Now inside the posts folder, we need to create post list and post editor components. So for that, I will use the cd posts command to go to the posts folder. And now I will run the command and generate c posts list, and this time instead of post detail, we will create the post editor component. Earlier we created the post - detail component. Okay, now in the post folder, you will see both of these components are created. Now let's do same for the categories folder. Use cd -- categories, and within the categories, I will generate categories list and category editor component. So run the command ng generate c and just change it to category - editor. Okay, so here I have generated two components, categories list and category editor. I have concatenated both of these commands with the help of and operator. Okay, everything is done. Now go to the comments folder. In the comments, we need only comments list component. So use cd -- comments, and here I will run the command and generate c comments - list, press enter. So in the comments folder, you would notice that this component has been generated. Now I will generate the components inside the tags folder. So open the tags folder and here go to the cd -- tags folder and run the command and generate c tags list and ng generate c tags - editor. So press enter. Okay, both of these components have been created. All right, I think that's all I wanted to create in this project as our initial project structure. So this is a good starting point. So we will quickly review all of the folders that we have created, and then we will end this lecture. And in the next lecture, we will start building very basic layout for our front-end app. So I will start from the public layout and we will go further step by step. Okay, so here if you open the app folder, we have admin, core and public. In the admin, we have the core and features. In the core, we have the interceptors. In the interceptor, we have auth.interceptors. Interfaces has all of the models interfaces that we wanted to create. In the services, we have all of the services. You may delete the spec file. I will not be implementing the testing in this course, so I will just delete all of these. But in case if you need to add them, you can add them yourself. Okay, so now we have the services folder. We have all of the services related to every database table. And in the public, we have core and features. In the public core, we have header and footer components. And in the features, we have all of the features: auth, categories, post, tags. In the auth, we will have the forgot, login, register, reset password components. And in the categories, we will have category list, category detail, and routing. And here we will have all of the routes basically in this file. And so we have the category dot module and so on. Okay, everything looks great. We have the header footer in the admin. We have the all of the features module in the features folder, categories, comments, post, tag. So I think everything looks great. We can now commit this, and I hope that you enjoyed this lecture. Thank you for watching this lecture. See you in the next one.